Now we come to the question that Boethius is really asking. In his situation, right down and dirty, where is he? He's awaiting execution. For what? For a crime not only did he not do, but he did the opposite. He's waiting death as a traitor, but he tried to save his country. He did stuff that actually benefited his country, and now he's being punished as a traitor. Why do bad things happen to good people? If God is just, why would God allow the good to be punished and the evil to be rewarded? Why do the evil escape punishment and the good actually suffer? This is the crux of the matter, not only for Boethius, but for all of us. We know that saying, no good deed goes unpunished. It's universal. Even in Chinese, they have an equivalent saying, 恩将仇报, which literally means to be repaid evil for grace and goodness that you've done for somebody. So this is a universal problem. It's the problem that trumps all theory. Why should I believe that God is just, even if you can logically prove it to me, if I am being punished for the good I do, and the evil is enjoying the evil they're doing? But appearances are not what really are the case. We often see people that look like they're enjoying life, but their enjoyment is actually their suffering. So we saw what evil was, and we saw that to do evil is not just to break some arbitrary law. It's not as if God said, all right, don't step on cracks in cement, and I'm going to punish you if you do by whipping you. These are arbitrary. This is what human rulers do. They make arbitrary rules and then attach to them arbitrary consequences. But God, as the ultimately wise and powerful being, creates a universe that every action has a consequence, and those consequences follow from the very nature of the action itself. So let's remember what evil is. Evil is harm. When I, as an evil person, for example, give in to my anger, because we saw what evil is allowing a lower thing to take dominance over a higher thing. Therefore, I allow my anger to take dominance over my reason. Is anger fun? We know it's not. Just drive on any road in America. I live in Rhode Island. I call it Road Rage Island because there are so many times when I'm driving that somebody does something that makes me angry. It's gotten so bad that I've moved close enough to work that I can walk. Why? Because anger's not fun. Anger is a type of mental anguish. When you're angry, you feel pain. So when a person gives into their anger, they choose their anger, but what are they choosing? They're choosing to allow mental anguish to take dominance over their life. They're actually mentally pricking themselves with a needle, not because they enjoy the pain, but because they enjoy what they think is the control they will gain by giving into their anger. But instead of gaining control, they gain domination. They become slaves to the mental anguish of rage. And so an angry person is a miserable person. Anger and happiness don't go together. And so we see, in this case, that an evil person, by giving into their desire, they destroy their happiness. And thus, aren't they rewarded? Aren't they punished? To be punished is to have your happiness taken away, but not arbitrarily, but by what you choose. Beware of what you ask for, the old saying goes. You might get it, and that's what happens to the evil person. By giving in to what you choose, you get what you choose, and what you get fits the crime. The punishment always fits the crime for the evil person. And thus the evil person is punished in their very doing of evil. They therefore are never left unpunished. In fact, when I prevent an evil person from doing evil, what I actually am doing is having mercy on their soul. I'm actually preventing their soul from destroying itself. And so we can never say the evil person is left unpunished. In fact, the evil person creates their own hell. God does not punish the evil person. The evil person punishes theirself by their own choice. By God commanding the evil person to not do this, to not give in to anger, to not let the sun go down on your anger, what is God doing? But in fact, an act of love. Please do not hurt yourself, God is saying. So now the converse holds true. The good person, in doing good, increases their unity. By doing good, they do what is good for them. And therefore, they increase their happiness. They become more like God. They become more self-sufficient, not less. They have more mastery over their anger and their desires and their emotions. And therefore, they're always going to gain greater levels of satisfaction by the very fact that they increase their unity. But this is also true in daily life. What is a good person but someone who loves the good? And what I love is what I value. And what I value is when I get it. That's what makes me happy. Isn't that true? So if I'm a baseball card collector and someone gives me a valuable baseball card, then I'm going to be happy. I've gained what I love, and it's because I love it and I've gotten it that increases my happiness. So since the good person supremely loves the good, while doing the good, they get what they love. They get what they truly want, as we saw. And so the good person, by doing good, is rewarded immediately. They get the highest thing that they could ever want. They don't want riches. They don't want wealth. They don't think these things are bad, but they don't want them as much as they want the good. And so therefore, when they lose their wealth by doing good, they don't lose the greater for the lesser. They actually lose the lesser in order to gain the good. There's a famous missionary named Jim Elliot, and just before he was martyred for sharing his faith, he wrote in his diary a very important thing, very profound, and it expresses what Boethius is trying to say here. He says this. He says, "He is no fool to give up what he cannot keep, to gain what he cannot lose." I can't keep my life, can I? Yes, I might be able to do things to prolong it, but there's one fact, there are two actually, that are inescapable in life. Death and taxes. I cannot escape paying taxes, but even more so, I cannot escape death. Everyone is going to die. They might live longer than others, but the one thing they cannot ever escape is the loss of their life. And so it's really true that if I strive with all my might to keep this earthly life, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it, and I'm going to be miserable. But if I give up this earthly life in order to gain eternal life, then that is not foolish. That is giving up the less valuable for the more valuable. That is what the good always does. And by doing good, I therefore gain the very thing I want in the very doing of it. So the good always get their reward, and they get it immediately in the very thing they want. They get what they want. They always get it. So what are heaven and hell for Boethius? Heaven and hell are not things. They're not places. They're states of being that I create for myself in the very acts that I choose, in the very goods that I choose. When I do evil, I create my own hell. When I do good, I make heaven a place on earth, like that old song. They say in heaven, love comes first. Ooh, baby, we can make heaven a place on earth. And Boethius fully agreed.